I am going to catch you up on everything that's been happening on Raw, NXT, and SmackDown. So if that interests you, continue watching the video. In this video, I'm going to tell you the following things about each brand. I'm going to tell you who's holding championships on each brand, who are the top heels, the top baby faces, what are the top feuds or storylines going on. And I'm also going to tell you the top factions or groups that you need to know. And then the last thing I'm going to tell you is upcoming PLEs, which are pay-per-view live events that you need to look out for. And I got my water today, y'all, because I notice in all my videos, I'll be like, girl, you dehydrated. Because I feel like I'm going to talk a lot in this video because I talk a lot in all my videos. And y'all, I be trying to keep it to 15 minutes or less. But I just be so passionate about the stuff I be talking about. But I got water today, so I don't do this a lot. Okay, let's get into it. So y'all, I'm going to go in order of how the brands come on. So you have Monday Night Raw, you have NXT on Tuesdays, and you have Monday Night SmackDown. So I'm going to start with Raw, and over there on the Raw brand, who are holding championships, I'm trying to do it off memory, but I do have my notion right here to keep me remembering. We have Rhea Ripley, who is your Raw Women's Champion. You have Seth freaking Rollins, cue music. If I can put it on the music, I'm going to cue the music on that part. Who's holding your World Heavyweight Champion. You have Damian Priest and Finn Balor, who are holding your Undisputed Tag Team Champion. You have Gunther, the Ring General, who is holding, that was a bad impersonation. Gunther, don't slap me. Who's holding your IC Champion, which is your Intercontinental Champion. And I think that's all the champions. Yeah. Oh, and then, a reminder, you have Damian Priest, who's holding the Money in the Bank, which he can cash in at any time. We're going to get into that, how that's a big hot take. But yes, those are your champions for the Raw brand. And to me, the biggest group that you need to know on Raw right now is the Judgment Day. So the Judgment Day consists of, you have Rhea Ripley, who's your Raw Women's Champion. And y'all, I'm going to put the pictures over here, and I'm going to say them in order of how I'm going to put them, so left to right. So you have Rhea Ripley, who is your Raw Women's Champion. You have Damian Priest, who is your half of your Undisputed Tag Team Champion. And he's also Senor Money in the Bank. Then you have JD McDonough. And then you have Finn Balor, who's the other half of the Undisputed Tag Team Champions. And then you have Dirty Dominic Mysterio, who gets booed a lot because he betrayed his father, Rey Mysterio. And then you have your honorary member who is R-Truth. Another group that you might need to know on Raw, which to me, like, you could know them, you could not know them, is Imperium. And part of Imperium is the Ring General. Again, that's a horrible impersonation. But it consists of Gunther, and it consists of Giovanni Vinci. No, let me do it how Samantha Irvin. So Samantha Irvin is the ring announcer. She said, Giovanni Vinci and Ludwig Kaiser. So I can't take myself seriously. Those are who's a part of Imperium. So now we're going to get into the feud/storylines that's really making Raw what Raw is now today. And I made a list of them. So the first one we're going to go over is Nia Jax and Rhea Ripley. That is a big feud right now because Nia Jax is kind of like I think they call it the Annihilator. I think I made that up, but I don't think they call her anything. But she is like the most dominant superstar right now, and I think that's the biggest thing in the women's division. They're trying to figure out the storyline wise is who's the most dominant female. So you have Rhea Ripley, who's holding the Raw Women's Championship, who in my opinion is a beast. Rhea Ripley, mommy, hashtag, that's what they call her, mommy is always on top, y'all. See Rhea Ripley in action. She's like so good. But they're right now doing the storyline where Nia Jax is claiming she's the biggest, and she's like beating up Rhea Ripley left and right, sneak attacking her, jumping on her, really like knocking her out any chance that she gets to prove that she's better. And that set up a match now. Now they have a match on at Elimination Chamber, which is coming on in 2 weeks, and it's gonna be so good. And then added within that storyline, you now have Becky Lynch, who confronted Rhea Ripley at the WrestleMania XL Premium Live event, like conference. It was just this big thing, and now Becky Lynch is going to be in the Elimination Chamber. So I feel like Becky Lynch is going to win, but I'm going to do my Elimination Chamber predictions next week, so we'll get into more of that next week. But Becky Lynch is kind of thrown into the feud now because she's like, I have to prove to, I cannot do an Irish, I was about to do an Irish accent, y'all. I cannot. But she said, I have to prove to myself that I'm better than you, Rhea Ripley, because in order for her to feel like she's better, she has to be Rhea Ripley. So we're going to see where that feud goes. But that's kind of the biggest thing going on in the women's, kind of on Raw. And then, what's her name? Liv Morgan is back now. And I think she's going to be gunning for Rhea Ripley, because Rhea Ripley is who put her out of action for about 8 months with the arm injury. So we're going to see what happens on the women's side. But that's the biggest thing on Raw women's wise with that's going on. Another storyline, it's kind of like not really a big storyline. It's really a funny storyline because, you know, wrestling sometimes can get serious. So I love when they throw funny storylines in there. So right now, R-Truth, if you don't know R-Truth is a legend. R-Truth is out here 50-something and he's still wrestling like legend in my books. So he has this thing right now where he's claiming he's in the Judgment Day, but he's not in the Judgment Day, but he beat JD McDonough to be a part of Judgment Day. It's just this big thing. Like, if y'all ever catch R-Truth on an episode of Raw, it's so funny. So just watch it. Another storyline that's just now developing, y'all, I think it started about 2 weeks ago. So Gunther right now is in his 600-day reign as Intercontinental Champion, which kind of makes him the greatest IC champion of all time. I think he's held it the longest. So on the last episode of Raw, to this date, y'all, I am filming this on Tuesday. We just had an episode of Raw, and I don't watch Raw or NXT really until Friday, so I can't give you updates. So until filming it to this date, the last episode of Raw, he was celebrating his 600-day reign, and then Jey Uso, well, he was talking all the junk like, nobody can beat me, I'm the ring general, anybody has stepped to me has been knocked down, and then cue Jey Uso coming out. So Jey Uso was in the Bloodline. He is part of the greatest tag team champion with his brother Jimmy Uso, but he left the Bloodline because he got betrayed, basically. So now he's over on Raw, basically trying to main event himself and be a solo act. So he stepped to Gunther and said, basically, if y'all want to see me beat Gunther for the IC champion, let me hear you say yeet. Yeet. So he has this thing where he says yeet. So I think that's about to be a story in the making, y'all, that we're gonna have Gunther. In my opinion, y'all, I think we're gonna have Gunther versus Jimmy. Ooh, they're twins, y'all, I get them confused. I think we're gonna have Gunther versus Jey either at the Elimination Chamber, which I don't, I'm thinking it's too close for the Elimination Chamber, or they might put Jey in the Elimination Chamber, I don't know. But no, I don't think so, because I don't think he was on the match card. But they're gonna have I think they're gonna have Gunther versus Jey at WrestleMania, y'all. I think it's gonna happen, and I think it's gonna be one of the GOAT matches. I think it's probably gonna be, it could be in contender of the match of the night. I'm claiming it now, y'all, but I think that's what's gonna lead to that feud, is that Gunther will lose. He will drop his IC champion to Jey Uso at WrestleMania. And then I'm gonna go a step further, even though this is not the video for predictions. I'm gonna go a step further and say that him and his brother Jimmy will be they will have a match at SummerSlam. Some other news surrounding Raw. It's kind of sad news, but right now Seth Rollins is injured. Seth Rollins is your World Heavyweight Champion. Seth freaking Rollins. Cue music, y'all. Hopefully I can cue the music so y'all can hear his song. It's so freaking hype. But Seth Rollins is injured right now, but he is holding the World Heavyweight Champion, like I said. And then CM Punk, who, y'all, has not, if you've been living under a rock, CM Punk, to me, he's my favorite wrestler of all time. Like, he is on my Mount Rushmore of wrestlers, y'all. Like, nobody else is topping CM Punk, in my opinion, on the mic, on in-ring. I'm telling you, he returned to WWE. He hadn't been in WWE, y'all, for 10 years. He returned at Survivor Series in his hometown of Chicago, okay? So he's injured right now. He was the last two in the Royal Rumble. He didn't win. Cody Rhodes won, and he's injured right now, so he won't be at WrestleMania. But that's just some real life news surrounding Raw right now, because CM Punk is injured. The last big storyline that you kind of need to know if you've been living under the rock is Cody Rhodes. Now, his story kind of bleeds in now to SmackDown, so I'll talk about more of him when we get to SmackDown. But Cody Rhodes, the biggest thing is him finishing his story. So Cody Rhodes finishing his story means, so Cody Rhodes' dad is the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, and Dusty Rhodes never held the WWE Championship title. He never held it. So Cody wants to finally bring the title to the Rhodes dynasty. So hashtag finishing his story, y'all, and we might actually get it at WrestleMania if he beats Roman Reigns, which I hope he freaking does. I hope they don't make him lose in the main event of WrestleMania again, y'all. I would just be so sad for him if he does. So hashtag Cody finishing his story. And then at that, Cody is the top babyface. So when I say babyface, Babyface is referring to the top hero, I guess, of Raw, like the top good guy. And Cody Rhodes is definitely the top hero or the good guy of Raw, y'all. Like when you go and watch Raw, the crowd pops. I think Raw gets the most pops from fans. Like everybody wants to see everybody on Raw, but Cody Rhodes to me gets the biggest pop of the night. And then versus that, I feel like the person who gets the biggest boos now, or the top heel as you will, aka villain, is definitely Drew McIntyre. Now Drew McIntyre has been on this tangent for the last couple of months, and ever since Jey Uso came to Raw, he's been on this tangent of basically beating up everybody or injuring everybody who's done him wrong, y'all. I feel like he's gonna have a beef with CM Punk when CM Punk gets better, but he's just been beating people up left and right. And he also just qualified. He was the first person to qualify for the Elimination Chamber. The top PLEs that are coming up for Raw, y'all, is going to be the Elimination Chamber again. It takes place, I think it's, don't get me the line, February 28th. It's that last Saturday in February, and it's going to be in Perth, Australia. And then also we are on the road to WrestleMania. I think we got about 50 something days, it might be 40 something days now, to WrestleMania 40, y'all. Oh Lord, I wish I could go, y'all, but maybe a different year. But we are on the road to WrestleMania 40. Now we're gonna move on to NXT that comes on Tuesdays. So I started watching NXT, and at first, y'all, it did take me a little while to get hooked onto NXT, because it is NXT, if you don't know, it's the developmental brand of WWE. So before people can make it to Raw or SmackDown, they have to go through NXT, where they can learn mic skills, they can learn how to wrestle a little bit more, they can learn how to handle the crowd, they can learn how to get comfortable with being on the TV. So it's shot in front of a way smaller audience. I think they only have maybe 50 to 100 people on the NXT, in the audience. So it's very small, just to get the new people just used to being on camera and in front of fans and everything like that. So here's the rundown of NXT. So your champions of NXT, and I'm gonna try to remember y'all because I did good with Raw. You have Obafemi, y'all. This man, Obafemi, 6'6", I think, 6'3", 6'6", 250 pounds. I'm talking about pure root. He is a beast. Telling you. Okay, I got distracted. He's holding your NXT North American Championship so good, and he just got it, y'all. He just got it a couple of, I think a month ago. I think he's only held it a month. And he's done a fantastic job with this so far, so good. You have Ilya Dragunov, which I love Ilya Dragunov. He's a beast. When I tell you he's a beast in the ring, before a different reason from Obafemi. Height and muscle, he's not that big as Obafemi, but he just has a rawness in him, y'all. I'm telling y'all, I get so hyped with NXT. So you have Ilya Dragunov, who's holding the NXT championship. You have the family, who are the tag team championships. You have Lyra Valkyria, who's holding your women's championship. And then you have Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin. Y'all know I love Braun Breaker. The Wolf Dogs, who just won the Dusty Rhodes Classic. That's basically a tag team tournament that they do. And now they're going to be facing the family probably tonight on NXT, because I'm taping this on Tuesday, to see who is going to win. Now let's get into the storyline. I only put down one storyline for NXT, y'all, because in my opinion, only one storyline matters. Carmelo Hayes betrays Trick Williams. Y'all. So, backstory. Carmelo Hayes is an NXT superstar. I think he's about to sign with SmackDown, because he's been on episodes of SmackDown, and he was just in the Royal Rumble. I think he's been on NXT for 3 years now, but he's his slogan is I am him. He's that dude, and he's so good in the ring. Technical wrestling wise, he's brilliant. So Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams were tag team. I think they were best friends, but they were kind of tag teaming too. They just went through the Dusty Rhodes Classic, and they lost to the Wolf Dogs, but they were best friends, y'all. And Carmelo Hayes turned on Trick Williams, y'all. I saw it coming because back in October when I first started watching NXT, Trick Williams got attacked by some random person, but we all knew it was Carmelo Hayes all along because the signs just always pointed to him, and he didn't really hide it. Trick was the only one dumb to believe it. He didn't really hide it. So at Vengeance Day, y'all, and then Carmelo Hayes was just jealous. Y'all can tell I'm stressed out. I'm doing this all the time. Carmelo Hayes was just really jealous of Trick Williams, because Trick Williams started to reach a height in his career that was unseen. Like, even his theme music, y'all, whoop that trick, whoop that trick. So good, like so good, y'all. So Carmelo Hayes started to get jealous, and he just wasn't him anymore. So y'all, he betrayed him at Vengeance Day after Trick Williams fought against Ilya Dragunov, and I feel like I'm saying his name so wrong, for the NXT Championship, y'all, which was in the contender for the match of the year. That was such a good match, y'all. If you want to start watching NXT and you want to do current, first off, just watch the whole Vengeance Day, y'all. It was so good, but we're not here for that. Just watch that match if you want to see what NXT wrestling is about. I'm telling you, that match is so good. But at the end, after Trick Williams lost against Ilya Dragunov, y'all, Carmelo Hayes took a fist to the knee of Trick Williams. When I tell y'all, I was like, even though, like, this is the thing with wrestling, you know when somebody's about to turn on somebody, but when it actually happens, you're like, oh, in shambles. We already knew, but the way he did it, and then he took a chair and he smashed on his knee over and over, and then he sat on the chair and put his feet up. I said, what? No, y'all. And then on the next episode, so the last episode of NXT that I watched, Carmelo Hayes comes out and he explains why, but it's like, why did you do it? So Trick Williams has not been back because it's only been one episode since Vengeance Day until tonight. And I don't know if I feel like they're going to make Trick Williams not come back until like a couple of weeks to have that build up of him coming back. And maybe, that hurt. And then maybe he'll come back and attack Carmelo Hayes on a different episode or whatever, y'all. But the only upcoming pay-per-view events that NXT has is kind of like their WrestleMania, which is called Stand and Deliver. I think that comes on the morning of WrestleMania Night 1, so maybe April 5th. I ain't bad at dates, y'all. I should have put dates down, but I didn't, y'all. If you start back watching wrestling, they'll say all the dates. But I'm pretty sure it comes on April 5th, April 4th, April 6th, one of them. The morning of Night 1 of WrestleMania is when you can see Stand and Deliver. Now, as far as top heel and top babyface, I kind of just said it with their feud that's about to start. Trick Williams is definitely the top babyface. I feel like he gets the loudest pop of the crowd in NXT. I'm telling you, whoop that trick. And then you have Booker T that's on announcement, like on announce table. He makes it even good. Like, he's top babyface. And then top heel definitely now is Carmelo Hayes. Even though, y'all, I love Carmelo Hayes so much. Like, I love his music. I love his technical wrestling, but he is definitely the person with the loudest boos now in the NXT. Now, the last brand we're going to talk about comes at no surprise. It is SmackDown that comes on Fridays. Now, your champions over at SmackDown, your first champion is going to be Roman Reigns, who is the undisputed I'm going to say undisputed WWE Championship. Undisputed basically means he's the WWE Championship for Raw and SmackDown brand. He's held the title now for over, I think he's held it over 1,000 days. I think he's on like his 1,100 day. Y'all, I've lost count. He don't even, and that's a different story. He don't even be fighting for the championship. He just be cheating. But Roman Reigns is your undisputed champion. You have your Kabuki Warriors, which is Asuka and, oh my God, Kairi Sane. They're your women's tag team champions. And then you have Damian Priest and Finn Balor. I'm counting them here again because they are undisputed. So that means they cover Raw and SmackDown brands. So they are your men's tag team champions for SmackDown as well. And then you have Io Sky, who is your SmackDown women's champion. And then you cannot forget about Logan Paul, who is your United States champion. So the important factions that you should know, or groups over at SmackDown, you should definitely know the Bloodline. So the Bloodline consists of Roman Reigns is your tribal chief, and then you have Jimmy Uso, who is Jey Uso's twin brother, and then you have Solo Sikoa, and then you have the wise man, Paul Heyman. And they basically run the SmackDown brand, okay? Like, if Roman Reigns want to go out there and beat up somebody, he's gonna go out there and beat up somebody. Like, he is literally the top guy on SmackDown. He is your tribal chief. Acknowledge him. So let's get into feud / storylines / updates about SmackDown. So the biggest feud right now, I think, on SmackDown, y'all, not the biggest feud, maybe the second biggest feud, is the implosion of Damage Control. So Damage Control consisted of Bayley as the leader, Dakota Kai, Io Sky, and then we got Kairi Sane a couple of months back, and then we got Asuka a couple of months back. But the original 3 that I named earlier were the first 3 of the group. Now, just as of 2 episodes ago, Kairi Sane, Asuka, and Io turned on Bayley. Now, we're still out on Dakota Kai. The last episode, she came out and said, I had nothing to do with the Bayley. I think she's lying. I think she's playing Bayley. And I think when her knee heals, she is going to beat Bayley up too. But, you know, I be telling Bayley just don't be listening to me. But we saw the implosion of them, so they're no longer a faction anymore. Well, Bayley's kind of kicked out of it. I'm guessing Dakota Kai is kicked out of it too, because she pulled a chair out on the other members to save Bayley. I don't know. She lying though, y'all. She's lying. But that's where they're kind of at with that story. Oh, and Bayley decided to challenge. So Bayley won the Royal Rumble, and she decided to challenge Io for the women's championship instead of challenging Rhea Ripley. So y'all, that was like a big thing, and Bayley came out with the pole swinging, and it was just a beautiful story, y'all. Let me tell you how it went down quickly, because I don't want this video to be too long. So before Bayley went out there to make her choice who she was going to choose to face, you can hear Io and Kairi and Asuka in the back laughing at Bayley, and then Io goes, Bayley is getting ended tonight. We get out there to the ring. Bayley had heard them, because they panned to the camera where Bayley was walking, like, basically, oh my God, I just heard them. They're going to try to, end me tonight. So she gets out there and she's like, y'all didn't believe in me. And then she talks Japanese, y'all. This whole time, they had been talking about Bayley behind her back in Japanese, because Kairi Sane and Io Sky and Asuka are Japanese. They thought Bayley didn't know. So Bayley get up there and is like, I forgot what she said. I'm not going to try to impersonate what she said, but she says it in Japanese. The crowd went wild. We were like, y'all been talking about her. She know what y'all saying. Y'all, it was crazy. And then they started beating her up, and she came out with a pole and she was hitting them. And then she said, I'm challenging you, Io. This is a bad representation of it, but just imagine. I'm challenging you, Io, at WrestleMania 40. Now, the biggest storyline of SmackDown is definitely The Rock returning. So y'all, originally, when Cody Rhodes won, we all knew he was going to pick Roman Reigns to fight against at WrestleMania. Headline main event, the main event maybe night 1, night 2. I'm guessing night 2 because it's the final night. Then WWE goes, no, we kind of want The Rock versus Roman, because that's when The Rock was like, should The Rock sit at the booth, the bar, the head of the table, whatever. So then Cody Rhodes comes out and says, I'm not going to face you, Roman. I'm going to have The Rock face you, basically. And then Twitter went, not Twitter, X went crazy, and they were like, no, we want Cody Rhodes, hashtag we want Cody. It started trending, then WWE switched it, and now we have Cody Rhodes versus Roman. And then at the WrestleMania press conference they have, The Rock turned heel, y'all. He smacked Cody Rhodes in the face because Cody Rhodes brought up their grandfather. Y'all, it was extreme, okay? It was extreme. So now we have that feud. And then backstage, Triple H is giving, because Triple H is the head of creative of WWE. He's giving a press, like he's giving an interview to somebody back there, and The Rock walks up to him and said, let them disrespect my family again. You need to do something about this. And he's like yelling at Triple H, and then Triple H is like, you ain't gonna little boy me, basically. So he went out on SmackDown and he was like, people forget I'm the head, and I'm kind of paraphrasing all of this. I'm the head one in charge. You ain't gonna little boy me. So he's basically like taking power and control and having authority. So I think it's gonna be this big feud between Triple H and The Rock, because you know now The Rock is like kind of like the boss. He took over, I think, Vince McMahon's position on the board or whatever. So The Rock Slick is kind of like an authoritative figure. So I think it's gonna be like The Rock Scoop versus Triple H. I'm just so excited to see where this storyline is about to go, because I can feel that on SmackDown that Roman Reigns is gonna come out, The Rock is gonna come out, and it's gonna be this whole thing of who runs SmackDown, who doesn't. I'm so excited, y'all. It's gonna be so freaking good. Like, I cannot freaking wait. Now, the top heel / villains on SmackDown is definitely going to go to Roman Reigns. A runner-up definitely would be Logan Paul. Nobody likes Logan Paul, y'all. Nobody likes Logan Paul. A top babyface or top hero, I guess, on SmackDown, to me would be kind of like, he's not even really a hero. To me, that gets the biggest pop of the night, would definitely be Randy Orton. And you cannot forget about LA Knight. Yeah! Like, you can't forget about him either. And just the same as Raw, the upcoming pay-per-view events for SmackDown is going to be Elimination Chamber, and it's going to be the road to WrestleMania. Thank you for watching my video today. I hope that this video caught you up on wrestling. If you haven't watched it in a while, or if you're about to start watching it, I hope it all makes sense, and that now you can go into 2024 watching wrestling, starting off now, knowing what's going on, who's who, what feuds to look out for, who's holding what championships, and everything. So, as always, bye!